队去餐厅刷盘的时候你在哪儿？
This story is like a knife that cuts into the deepest wound of family bonds. On the surface, it seems to be about a mother who abandoned her son and now returns for forgiveness. But beneath it lies something far heavier: the scars of poverty, the cruelty of social stigma, the bitter reality of survival, and the question of whether broken family ties can ever be repaired. When Xiaofeng's mother left, she did not just walk away from a marriage, she walked away from a child who had barely learned to speak clearly. For a 5-year-old, a mother is not only a parent, but also the entire world, the source of warmth, comfort, and unconditional protection. By leaving him behind, she carved a hole in his soul that no one could ever truly fill. The boy grew up not simply motherless, but stigmatized, labeled by peers as the wild child without a mom. Each taunt he endured was another reminder that the one person meant to love him unconditionally had abandoned him. At 16, when most teenagers dream of freedom or romance, Xiaofeng was bent over greasy restaurant sinks, scrubbing dishes just to pay his tuition. For him, life was not about chasing dreams, it was about survival. And in those years, every night he must have wondered, if I had a mother, would life be different? Would I have to beg for 800 yuan or endure the humiliation of being treated like an outsider in my own home? Now, after 18 years, his mother returns. She weeps. She bows. She says all the right words of regret. But to Xiaofeng, those tears are salt poured on old wounds. He cannot forget that when he was poor, helpless, and desperate, she never came. Yet now that he has money, suddenly she is here. Is this really love, or is it greed disguised as love? Her excuses, that she left because of abuse, because she had no place to go, because she was powerless, may hold pieces of truth. Domestic violence is real, poverty is cruel, and perhaps her suffering was genuine. But one question crushes all her explanations. If you feared your husband so much, why didn't you take your son with you? If she truly wanted to protect him, she would have risked everything to keep him safe. But she left him behind, to face the very man she called violent, and to endure 18 years of loneliness. That choice cannot be explained away. The tragedy is that both sides carry scars. The mother lived with guilt and regret, perhaps crying alone in strangers' homes while working as a maid. The son grew up motherless, working for scraps of dignity, building himself into a man out of sheer resilience. Now they face each other, not as a loving mother and son, but as strangers bound by blood and haunted by the past. The complication of money makes the story even uglier. Her return is tied to demolition compensation, a fortune that could change lives. To Xiaofeng and his father, her timing reeks of opportunism. To her, it is a rightful share of what she once contributed. Money becomes the battlefield where broken love is fought over, where sincerity is questioned, where forgiveness is tainted. And yet, when she says she will leave the money to her son, a different layer appears. Perhaps she truly wants to give back. Perhaps she hopes that by providing financially, she can finally play the role of a mother. Her bow, her trembling apology, is not only for forgiveness, it is her attempt to reclaim dignity, to be seen again as mom after 18 years of silence. Xiaofeng's final choice to give her a chance is both heartbreaking and profound. He is not naive. He knows forgiveness cannot erase the pain of his childhood. But he also knows that carrying hatred forever would chain him to the past. Forgiving her is not just for her sake, it is for his own healing. To let go of the bitterness that has defined his life, to finally give the little boy inside him some peace. This story forces us to ask, what does it mean to be a parent? Is it biology, or is it presence and sacrifice? Can absence ever be redeemed by tears? And most painfully of all, should a child forgive a parent who abandoned them? There are no easy answers. But one thing is clear, Xiaofeng's pain is not just personal. It is the pain of countless children who grow up without love, who must fight the world alone. And it is also the warning that love, once abandoned, cannot be reclaimed with simple apologies. Perhaps forgiveness is possible, but the scars will always remain.